Wyoming. We have now just gotten to Denver. So we are at the same hotel that we were at the first time. I didn't know we were coming back to the same one. Me and my roommates for the past 3.5 weeks are not roommates. She's on third floor. And so I am kind of sitting here waiting to see who my roommate might be. But yeah, I'm really hungry. I'm glad that this is like in a nice area where things are pretty close to get to eat and stuff. So I might catch up with Nadine and see if she wants to go get some food. But other than that, I'm chilling till our graduation, which is Saturday. Oh, I feel like my energy is just so low. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just been a day. Final was this morning, and that was an emotional roller coaster. So I just feel like I'm drained. Like my chest actually hurts right here. For some reason, I don't know. I'm just feeling all the feels. Yeah, so we are about to see how the rest of the night goes. It's currently 7:34. It's really early, and again, I'm hungry. Yeah, that is about it. I will try to update y'all as much as I can. I will for sure come back on and make a whole video as far as like the rest of this week, like I plan to. Not the rest of this week, but how this week went for week 3, and that's about it. But your girl is getting her wings on Saturday. Ah, pinch me. So today is Wednesday, and I just had some breakfast downstairs. So here they serve hot breakfast every day. So I just had some eggs, potatoes, turkey sausage, some oatmeal, and they had like fruit and cereal downstairs, and also like a waffle maker makes those small mini waffles. I think it was something else, but other than that, it was really good. I missed it yesterday just because I was sleeping in so good. I was not about to wake up just to eat. I just didn't want to. So today I actually did get up early because it was my old roommate's Nadine's IOB today. So she is about to basically go work a real flight, but not as like an official flight attendant just yet, like on her own. So basically she's going to have a coach with her. So we all have to go through that at some point. I just have not gotten my date for that yet. I went down there so that way we could read Jesus Always together like we did every single morning. And I'm telling y'all, it was a routine. She would play her Christian music. I forgot the exact genre that is considered. Not Christian rap. It's not that, but it's like upbeat Christian music. I don't know what else it could be called. But anyway, so we would play that every single morning, and then maybe about almost 10 minutes before we left out the room, I would read Jesus Always for the day. And if you don't know, that is a devotional book. Here, let me just grab it. So this is Jesus Always, and so it's 365 days of devotions. She asked that I come down today so that way we can read this together, and so that way we could send her off for her IOE. I am actually probably going to put week 3 and week 4 together just because week 4 really was not much of anything. So I'll start off with week 3, and if you watched previously week 1 and week 2, then you know I explained in week 2 that it gets a little easier around that time because majority of the knowledge is really in week 1. And then come week 2, it's like, okay, I'm using that to kind of guide me through week 2. And then come week 3, it's pretty much like there's some exams, but there's not as much happening. It's not as intense. It was like, okay, I've already been gone for a couple weeks now. It's like I've been stressed for 2 weeks now. And you're just like, I have another week here and then another week after that, so you're like, I'm at the halfway mark. And at that point, it really can get to you. You're like, oh, you're just exhausted in a way. You're just drained. That's the only way I can really put it. You're you're just really drained because the days are long. I mean, it's starting off so early in the morning, and then I mean, I explained it once before. You start off so early in the morning, and then as soon as you get a class, you are starting with your getting right on your studies, and then before you know it, it's time for bed, and then you do it all over again. You're doing that for 6 days a week. You have one off day, and then also at certain times when I'm guessing with our class size, on our off days, they would say, hey, if you guys want to get such and such done early, you know, we have some time, you can come and do this early. And for me, I took advantage of that. So I technically didn't have a full off day where I just laid in the bed all day. I actually wanted to get some drills done because I felt that prepared and confident that I was going to pass, which I did. I was like, let me just get this out the way, so that way by the time the actual day does come, when they want everybody to do that same drill, it's like I'm already done, and I can focus on something else, which is the final exam. On top of all of these emotions that you're feeling, you're kind of getting anxious about the exam, you're ready to go, you know, you're still dealing with things that might irritate you within the class, but again, you got to kind of control yourself on that. And it's just by week 3, all of the emotions kind of are really setting in. Week 1 was super adrenaline, everybody was good, ready to go, we're happy to be here. Week 2 was like, okay, I'm a little bit more relaxed, still stressed because we're still at the beginning, you know. But then come week 3, you're just like, bro, this is still not over with. Like, this is still not over with. I don't know how some of the other airlines do it that are there twice as long. I was just like, oh Jesus Christ. And I do feel like eventually I'm gonna do another video on like things to really focus on and not focus on to get you through training. I think that might be necessary, but just kind of throwing it out there now. Another way that helped me get through these weeks, how I did so successfully, is minding my business and staying in my own lane. Y'all, when I tell you, if you are the type that loves drama, if you are the type that just loves to start stuff, and if you were one of those kids in class that like always gave your teacher problems, I don't know if this is the right career for you, and I'm just gonna say it just straight like that. I don't think this is gonna be a good career path until you figure that out, because there were way too many people that were trying to start stuff, not with me, but of course, but just trying to start things, and it was like, again, it certain people, and I'm not saying this about the whole class, that it makes you do feel like you're in high school again when you overhear stuff. You're just like, these are a bunch of children that I have to deal with for this class, and also possibly on the line because they may or may not be based with me. So you're just kind of thinking about that. So it's like, just stay in your own lane. Do not get in the middle of anything that is not your business. Do not let your name be caught up in the middle of anything. Do not let anybody jeopardize this amazing opportunity that you have signed up for, because the thing is, what I was just like, when I look back on my week 1 and my week 2 and some of the things that I shared, I was like, oh my God, that was such a rumor. Like, just for example, like the amount of people that we had left. This was like week 1, and somebody had told me like, yeah, we're down to 110 already, and then we start off at 122. And I'm just like, looking back, I'm like, we were at 110 on week 3. Like, we still had like a good amount of people. We didn't lose that many people in a week 1. So I was just like, where did that person hear it from? Did they just come up with that? You know, just rumors, you know? And it's like, if you don't hear it from an instructor, if they don't say it out of their mouths, it's not true. Leave it at that. By week 3, everybody, and I already said it once before, by week 3, everybody wants to be a know-it-all. Everybody wants to just be the first ones to present this information that they ain't got from nowhere, or they got from somebody else who was in the class before us, or it's just like everybody got connect somewhere. By week 3, when you hear people say stuff, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, and you keep it pushing. Just stay to yourself. When I tell you, that will get you through every single week in flight attendant training. I cannot stress that enough. Stay out of people's business in life, in training, just period. Just stay out of people's business, and I promise you, if you don't take anything out from anything that I say, stay to yourself. Just please stay to yourself. So again, come week 3, by the time I kind of learned all of that stuff, and again, a combination of all of this stuff, and me having my own emotions, knowing that it's close to the end, kind of tuning and blocking people out, you're just like, that's really a part of all just being ready to go. Like, that's all I can say. That's really plays the biggest part of just being ready to go. You're like, I'm just so ready to be home around people who I actually know and care about. Like, you do make relationships with some people, but if you don't like try to make all these friends and stuff, like I wasn't trying to make all these friends. I was like, I'm ready to go and be around people who I actually want to be around, who I choose to be in my life, and not just I'm forced to talk to you just because we both decided to apply at the same time for the same company. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, that was that. And so, like I said, so it wasn't as many lectures. I feel like I just went off way too far. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I just needed to say that, I guess. So, as far as the final exam, for each exam, I would say they do give a practice exam for each one. So you can take it as many times as you want to, which is great. I passed it, so I was like, you know what? It is what it is. So come the morning of the final exam. Now normally me and my roommate, we would go into one of our rooms with like the other people and eat breakfast and stuff. And I told her, I said, this is not the day I want to be around people, because as much as before each exam they were in there like going over their note cards and stuff, and just kind of just doing last minute studying and stuff, I was just like, I don't want to hear that today. That's not the day that I want to do that, because this wasn't on any particular topic. This was all of the exams that we've ever taken. So I said, that's not what I want to hear. I don't want to have that in my mind come the day of the final. So she completely understood. So we just went to the cafe, got some food there. When I tell you, it really just set the tone for like my mindset going to the exam, because it wasn't cluttered with hearing people laughing too loud and just like distractions, right? I just wanted to be in my own thoughts. That's all I wanted to do, is have the clearest mind I can possibly have. Normally we would have an hour for each exam. They gave us an hour and a half because this one was definitely way more questions than before, of course. So they gave us a lot more time. They also gave us, they give us a piece of paper that you can write on. You can write anything that you want on that piece of paper. So each time that I ever had a question that I wasn't 100% sure that I was like correct on, I wrote it down. So at the end of all of after the full exam, I had 6 that I was like a little iffy on. So I kind of narrowed those down and just did some process of elimination and just using some regular common sense to be confident in some of the answers. That kind of gave me maybe like 3 that was like, I'm not too sure about this. I forgot. Now in my mind, now I'm looking at this timer, and this was after I had completed all the questions, by the way. By the time I completed every question with the ones written down that I wasn't 100% sure on, I went back to those particular ones. Also, I went through each question again to make sure that I read it thoroughly and that I answered it correctly. So this is what took up some time too. So after I had done that and looked at those particular questions, I was like, when I tell y'all, I was in there stressing low key. Like, I was really like, I'm like, I cannot get this wrong. And everything at that point, everything is going through your mind. Like, there is absolutely no way I allow myself to go through this full process, for me to be here for 3 weeks and pass every exam. Y'all, I did not fail one exam while I was here. And I said this, I refuse to let this be the exam that I fail. The final one, there's no retakes on the final. Whatever your score is, your score is. So I said, I was just like, this is not the time. So just having that pressure on yourself, you're really like, my heart, it was beating fast, and I'm really trying to make sure I'm like calming myself down. I'm trying to make sure I am in control of my emotions and not letting that cloud any of my decisions and what I know is the answer. So I'm just taking some deep breaths, like some breathing exercises while I'm in there. I mean, when I tell you it's intense, I am not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I am not going to make it seem like I was just like, oh, this a breeze. No, I was like, this is something. I was doing my best again to just keep myself under control. So again, by the time I had those like last three that I was just like, I had to use some common sense on just like what I remember us like doing and like things that they would demonstrate for us. I was like, let me just think back to what answer makes sense and what doesn't. That's pretty much the strategy that I was using, and which makes sense for anybody to use. But in that time when you have so many thoughts going through your mind, you can easily get like flustered. You can easily just get distracted and just whatever. By this point, it was maybe about, I think we had about 14-ish, 13, 14-ish minutes left before the exam ended. I was like, you know what? Every single time I've taken these exams and I was super stressed or like getting into my own mind, and I was like, every single time that I did that, I passed each exam. I was like, so I'm not about to let this be the one that I'm like not trusting myself again. Like, you know what I mean? And I've been saying that, I think I've said that each time. I was like, you have to trust yourself. I was like, you know what? I'm just press submit. I press submit. Y'all, when I tell you, it said 98%. It said 98%. And when you're done with an exam, I feel myself getting emotional. When you submit your exam, you can then go back and see anything that you got wrong. I don't know which one I had gotten wrong exactly. Like, I kind of scrolled through a little bit to see like which one had the red X on it, and I was like, okay, so I didn't even scroll through the rest to see exactly what it is that I had gotten wrong. I just couldn't. I didn't have it in me at that point. Like, when I hit submit and I saw, first, let me tell you, I hit submit and then I saw green. Because remember I told y'all green is obviously passing. I saw green. So I just had instant, I felt myself about to cry. Then I actually looked at the number and it said 98. I started crying. Like, I started crying right then and there. I took my iPad to one of the instructors. I turned it and showed it to her. And she was like, good job. You know, they're trying to whisper and, you know, and be quiet because people are still in there. So she's like, good job. And then she saw my face, and like, I'm telling y'all, like, I could tell she felt bad. Like, she like poked her bottom lip. I was like, she like handed me some tissue. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's like, it's such a good feeling. It's such a relief. This didn't go to waste. I didn't just come here and be away from my home and from my family and just completely stop my life for 3 weeks just to come here and not make it. Such a good feeling, such a blessing, all by the grace of God, y'all. Went back to my seat and I was grabbing all of my stuff, y'all, just tears just falling. I mean, like, I was leaning over grabbing my book bag. I just saw them like falling off my eyelashes. Like, it was like I was a mess. I was a complete mess. When I left out of the room, the first person I was looking for was my roommate. because she had gotten done so much sooner than me. Again, y'all, I took my time on this stuff. So I was taking my sweet old time. If you gave me an hour and a half, I was taking an hour and a half if I needed it. So when I left, I was looking for her, and she was coincidentally sitting right outside of the room. I could tell when she saw me, she was like looking concerned because I was crying so bad. And I wasn't smiling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was happy, relieved, but I wasn't like, yeah, I just passed. Like, yeah, I wasn't like that just yet. That was emotion. The happiness part wasn't quite there just yet. Because I was still in low-key shock of what just happened. And knowing all of the thoughts that I just had in my mind to now, it was like, I hadn't smiled in like probably like 10 minutes since I passed. The first 10 minutes. Again, based off her face, I let her know that I passed. You know, as I was giving her a hug, I whispered, I was like, I passed. So me and her, we grabbed our stuff and left. And right after that, we had to get changed for our uniforms. For a picture, so we had to put on our uniforms. On heading to the room, like I called my sister. Even my sister, when I was crying so bad, I'm telling you, when I cry, it's ridiculous. So my sister was like, what's wrong? I was like, maybe I passed. And so she trying to whisper because she's at work, you know, she was, you know, super excited and stuff. And so then, you know, she found a way to make me laugh, which was a good relief, because it was like, I think if I didn't laugh at that moment, I would have kept crying. Soon after that, that's when, you know, we tried to hurry up, change our clothes, because I had taken so much time in that exam that we didn't have that much time to change for our uniforms. So I'm trying to hurry up, and I purposely didn't put my lashes on that day. I knew I wanted to do that like once we got back to the room. I needed to fix my makeup. I planned to put on like a little bit of blush, but I didn't, because again, it was like I was just so in a rush. That's how I ended my flight attendant training. It was truly a good feeling. Once we did that, changed our clothes, came back into the room. That's when, you know, they had the music all loud, and it was like they were playing line dances and stuff. So everybody's energy was just like so good, because we had all just passed our final. Like, it was like you kind of looking around the room, you kind of looking for certain people, and it was just such, I can't explain it no other way, but just like such a blessing and such a good feeling to know that you made it. Like, you made it. You went through one of the toughest things that you could possibly go through. And for regular people, I've never gone through anything like this. I've never. Now, I've gone to cosmetology school. I've taken that exam. That was tough, but I also didn't have to leave home for a month just to do that. All these emotions just building up over time. So again, you're just kind of looking for people or whatever, and everybody's having a good time, everybody's dancing. So tomorrow is Saturday the 23rd, March 23rd, and we are graduating tomorrow. Tomorrow we officially get our wings, and so that is such an amazing feeling, because it's like now I can go home. I go home on Sunday. I'm like, oh, I get to go home. It's like I can't wait. I can't wait to just like, even if I go home and do the same stuff, like I'm gonna have my car is now at the end. We've done so well. The time went by fast. I will say it did go by fast, which I knew it would. I knew it wouldn't drag. We did what we needed to do to become flight attendants, and this was just one experience that I can tell a story all day long, but y'all will not understand it unless you have done it. It really is different. So that's why you just have to make sure that you are completely prepared 100% before you leave. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Get your attitude together. Learn how to adapt. As flight attendants, we have to learn how to go with the flow and get used to quick and sudden changes. Everything's not going to be the same 100% every single time. So if you can't really understand that alone, you're going to have a difficult time being a flight attendant if you feel the need to feel a way about a sudden change. Again, that's why I really wanted to put week 3 and week 4 together, just because I didn't technically have a week 4. Like I didn't. And so some people's stories are much different. They will be able to share like their experience, but for me, I've been chilling. Some people have gone out, like gone downtown, and some people are going to get pedicures and all this kind of stuff, which is, you know, definitely a treat. And yeah, but I'm just kind of like, you know, I don't care. With the experience that we just had, I deserve to relax and not look for the next thing to do to try to keep myself busy while I'm here in Denver. Like y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. I do think that at some point I am gonna have a different video of do's and don'ts, I guess, or something like that, to have like a list of things that I recommend and don't recommend. I know that's coming. Since y'all have gotten to this point of it, I know this video was much longer, but it was really needed, because I just felt like by week 3 you just have so much going on physically and mentally that there was no way I could wrap this up in like a quick 10-minute video. So I do appreciate y'all for being here. So far, for all the people that's congratulated me and wished me well and told me that they're so proud of me, that's another thing. Having people that are praying for you, like who only a little bit of people knew I was coming here beforehand, but just like having them like pray for me, like I made it on their prayer list, like, you know what I mean, like that's never taken for granted, like any day, like that's never taken for granted. So it's like I'm so grateful for those people and so blessed to have them in my life, because that played a part as well as to how I made it this far with being so successful, you know. So I love them I love them so much with everything in me. But that is pretty much all I have for y'all. I will catch y'all next time. I will be vlogging my graduation. So, well, no. I will be doing my best to film something of graduation if I can. I love y'all so much, and I guess Flight Attendant Rana is logging out.